Welcome. The highlights of the opening day's play of the first Test match between Australia and the West Indies at the Gabba in Brisbane. A wonderful day and what looked to be a very, very good pitch. And these were the teams announced by the two skippers just before the start of play and just prior to the toss. Alan Border, the skipper, and Mark Taylor, vice-captain of Australia. Then David Boon, Steve Waugh, Mark Waugh, Damien Martyn making his Test match debut, Greg Matthews, Ian Healy, Merv Hughes, Craig McDermott, Bruce Reid, and Dean Jones is 12th man for Australia. Surprise there with Dean Jones relegated to the drink waiter position, but a wonderful chance for Damien Martyn. Now the West Indian side, skippered by Richie Richardson, he's at the top of the order there with Desmond Haynes, but it'll be Phil Simmons who goes in first with Haynes, then Lara, Carl Hooper, Keith Arthurton, David Williams, Ian Bishop, Curtly Ambrose, Courtney Walsh, Patrick Patterson, and Gus Logie, the vice-captain of the West Indian side, is 12th man. Alan Border won the toss and decided Australia would bat on what looked to be an absolute belter of a pitch. Not a great deal of grass on it, a bit of moisture. There'll be some life there in the first session. And we join play now with Curtly Ambrose bowling the first ball to Mark Taylor.
Slipped there, and this could be close. Misses the stumps. There'll be overthrows. You know, they've overrun. Well, I tell you what, Taylor was adamant that he was going to get off the mark very quickly there. He actually slipped, I think, just as he set off, having said yes, but regathered his composure and ended up getting through quite comfortably. Have a look at this.
Yes, the fieldsman was a little bit slow. He does slip, and it was going to be close. It was a big, good throw, but he had to throw around Taylor as well.
What a good average that is.
Mark Taylor, since that great tour of England in 1989, he's been very solid in the top order. 800s and 1750s, so he's got good strike rate as far as hundreds are concerned once he gets a start. Reaching his prime at 28, between 28 and the mid-30s, you should be at your best. He looks in very good touch.
In the air, that's out, yes, he's got a little one on that, nick on that one. Everyone's up in the air, and umpire Randall says no. Now, there was definitely a double noise. The whole West Indian contingent has gathered around the batsman. They cannot believe it. Richie Richardson is now running down the pitch towards the umpire, is he? No, the bowler. Just to say, don't worry about it. Just let's get on with it. Accept the umpire's decision. Well, let's have another look at this one.
It's always difficult for umpires at pads, but they sounded like two noises. You could hear the thumps, and there's no doubt from the short leg, look at that, he's throwing the ball in the air, and everybody's excited except the most important man on the ground, umpire Steve Randall, who said not out.
Right-handed batsman, aged 31 years of age, born on the 29th of December, 1960, from Launceston in Tasmania. Magnificent player over the years. An average just a little lower than that of his partner. His highest scored 200, as you can see there. It's Bishop again. That's well bowled and well fielded. Desmond Haynes in the gully. He's magnificent in that position. Very watchful, so experienced. Diving away to his left.
Yes, and that's what's needed early on. A good save to defend. That was a nick, and it went all the way on the ground, but well defended by Desmond Haynes. He's quite deep in the gully, as you can be first morning here at the Gabba. A little bit of bounce about. It's a good save, 4 runs, keeps the pressure on Boone, who is yet to score. And Bishop playing his first Test match against Australia. He's 25. He's only played 12 Test matches, so it's early days for him yet. But a very good average of 20, and he strikes 46, which is very good. 6 for 87, his best against India. 53 wickets in 12 Test matches. A very good start to what hopefully is a long career.
In Bishop. In the air, but smashed away over the top of the point fieldsman and into the fence for 4. That's the first boundary for Australia. What a good positive shot that was. Short outside off stump. Boy, and did Taylor get stuck into it. So we've already had one incident. When I say incident. Oh, it's in the air. He's got him. Yes, he's out. Taylor's out. And up go the West Indies. They are very, very happy to get rid of him. Some of them would say for the second time. But that was a very thick edge. Went flying away to the keeper. No mistake at all.
No, that's very important from the West Indies point of view when you have a man like Towley who you thought you had out when he was on 2, to pick him up so early on a good batting strip is a real bonus. It was a wide delivery, went for it, went for the square slash, and the wicketkeeper crossed easily to take a regulation catch. That's a very important breakthrough. The first of the series, Taylor out, caught behind. For 7, that's 1 for 8.
There he is on the back foot, whipping the ball away on the leg side. Philip Simmons is the back pad fielder who's done the chasing. It was pretty well run. It was a good throw from Phil Simmons in the end, but very well run between Steve Waugh and David Boone to get 3 runs. Every run counts. Steve Waugh again on the back foot, hitting the ball in the air on the onside. Plenty of gaps there, a lot of close catching fieldsmen, just pulling up inside the boundary. And the 3 run there, a very good chase. That's an edge on, I beg your pardon, there was a noise there. A little bit of interest from the bowler, perhaps out of frustration more than anything else, but it sounded a nice little noise.
Very good ball this by Curtly Ambrose. Well pitched up, pitching, leaving the right hander, but David Boone just turning his wrists at the last moment. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
Very picturesque. Off the body, that's been given out. Steve Waugh pulling the hands away. Curtly Ambrose was very confident. So were the West Indian fielders. Umpire Steve Randell had no hesitation, and Steve Waugh is on his way.
Yes, a short ball again from Kirk Ambrose onto the body of the glove. There it goes. Australia now 21 for 2.
Very good driver of the ball when it's pitched up.
That's a very good shot there by David Boone. First show of aggression this morning, but beautifully timed. Just look at this. Couldn't want a more perfect straight drive. Beautifully struck.
Nice stroke. Good shot off the back foot. It's quite fast over in that section of the outfield. That's where they have the practice pitches now. Good looking stroke from David Boone. He didn't quite get that off the absolute meat of the bat, but it still raced away to the square leg boundary. They're 2 wickets down for the Australians, but a counter-attack now by Boone. And that's the stroke they've been practicing. Mark Waugh used it down in Sydney when he made his double 100. Boone has just used it to hit a boundary, and it's 2 for 39. That is a very good stroke. He rolled his wrist beautifully on that, kept it down. His man down at deep fine leg. That was beautifully played by Mark Waugh.
This was not a genuine bouncer by any means from Curtly Ambrose, just a little bit short of a length there, if that makes any sense to you. And Mark Waugh very, very quickly onto the back foot, kept his hands over the top of the ball, always in control of the shot, rolled the wrists absolutely perfectly, as by the textbook, and 4 runs all the way.
Might just have carried. Not much in it. Keith Arthur, there's brilliant fielder, might just have carried.
I think that will have to go down as a half chance. Flicked off the legs here by Mark Waugh. Timed quite nicely and just carrying to Keith Arthurton's right hand there. Would have been a fantastic catch, would have been a brilliant catch, but that's the sort of thing that, of course, fielders like Arthurton make their reputations on. Very sharp in that position behind square leg there.
That was beautifully controlled for the type of ball it was. It was a high bouncing bumper, and it was wonderfully well controlled. It's 2 for 47. And Patrick Patterson. Nicely stroked by Boone. The outfield is fast. That is a good boundary.
Courtney Walsh showing signs of wear early in his spell. Looks as though he's just got a little bit of a problem at the top of his hamstring there. And in fact, it looks quite serious. By the look of things there, Courtney Walsh is very seriously thinking about getting some treatment here.
He didn't show any great reaction there. He's just sort of half waved his hand to say that he'll start again. Might have been a little cramp. Dennis Waite, the West Indian physiotherapist, was on his way, but was waved back. No, he's gone. He's gone. And that is very sad. Always awful when a cricketer breaks down on the field. Can happen to fast bowlers, slow bowlers. Batsmen can be injured. But that is a real sadness on the first morning of this Test match.
It's a fine shot. He's pulled beautifully. Mark Waugh, a man coming off a 200 at the Sydney Cricket Ground, has played 3 glorious shots in the short pitch delivery. That was a genuine pull shot. No ball, it's away for 4. Thick outside edge, races away to the third man boundary. The boundary's coming quite freely here at the Gabba in the first session. 10-4 so far. Oh, that's a better shot. That's not a no ball. That's a glorious late cut almost. He just waited and deflected it. Brings up the 50 partnership, and all of a sudden Patrick Patterson becoming quite expensive in his 4th over. It's well bowled. Good piece of fielding by Shortwig as well. There's stump vision. There he goes, dancing down, trying to get the pitch of the ball. Shortwig gets it. Back he comes. And that's in the air. It's just wide of Arthurton, a square leg. I'm saying that was a bit of desperation there, but he was beaten in flight by Carl Hooper, getting down the pitch to drive through the onside, a little bit of turn, and got an edge, and it just flew wide of the man at forward square leg.
This has been good bowling from Carl Hooper. Twice he's enticed Mark Waugh into lofting the ball on the onside.
Australia 86 from 26 overs in 2 hours. They scored 55 runs per 100 balls. West Indies 78 balls an hour. Got through 26 overs in the first 2 hours, and we will keep those statistics coming to you just so as you know what is going on throughout the series. In the commentary box now, Ian Chappell, and with him Michael Holding.
Thanks, Richie. And taken, Carl Hooper. Oh, that really is a good blow for the West Indies. Mark Waugh will be very disappointed with himself. He played the quickies extremely well, got on well and truly on top of Patrick Patterson, and he has virtually given his hand away there. That's the way he'll be thinking as he heads back to the pavilion, ripping his gloves off.
This is a very good catch here by Carl Hooper. That was firmly struck, but well taken. Mark Waugh, very disappointed man. He has been playing well. Australia now 3 for 88.
Damien Martin making his Test debut faces Carl Hooper. And he's been crowded there with Desmond Haynes coming in to silly mid off. Brian Lara is at slip, and at silly mid on we have Phil Simmons. And Damien Martin off the mark. That'll do a lot more for his confidence. It's 3 for 90. Ian Bishop has looked a lot better in this test match than he did in Hobart. Much better line, and he's got a few deliveries to move away from the right-hander. 100 comes up for Australia. And he gets an underneath edge on that. Lara was heading off after that delivery before the almost as the shot was played. He can't stop the boundary.
Good shot. He's got it away behind point. It's running away to the boundary. Into the fence she goes. 7-4s. Lovely shot. That was a bit short and a little wide. And dispatched to the boundary. 3 for 109. Curtly Ambrose being brought back into the attack. Now Ambrose so far has bowled 9.1 overs and taken 1 for 23. Oh, good shot. Straight away into the slot that one went and hit straight down the ground. Bit of a gap there. Richardson, will he make it? Oh, it's a tough one. Yes, he gets his foot to the ball there and manages to prevent it from going for 4. So just 3 there. In the air, big appeal. Yes, he's gone. He's out. Caught it forward, short leg. That one might have turned just a little bit. Hit the inside edge onto the pad. Sounded as if there were 2 noises. Up in the air it went, and nicely taken. So David Boon, who's played so well for Australia, is out.
Well, the pressure's told. David Boone's been a long time in the late 40s there. Just a fraction of turn, the bat in front of the pad, little inside edge. Well taken by Phil Simmons there. And drinks will be taken now as David Boon comes off the field. A very good 48. And Australia 4 for 125.
Curtly Ambrose, the bowler. 2 slips of gully, short leg. Border well back. He's off the mark. Just, I think. Oh, that would have been very close. Mid-off, Arthurton coming in quickly. And Border was really struggling those final 2 or 3 metres.
I think Alan Border realises now, as he did very soon after calling for that run, apart from the fact that he's just about strained a hamstring, didn't realise that Keith Arthurton, being a left-hander and fairly quick off the mark, Alan hasn't gone yet. Now he takes off and Keith Arthurton swoops on it. Had he hit, Alan Border would have been on his way.
Fine shot, that'll beat him. Yes, it'll go all the way. Border very strong. Square and late cutter. That's a confidence builder for Alan Border. Superb stroke. And he's put him away. What a fine shot. Damien Martin getting the long hop and punching it for 4, and already the pressure off. First ball from Patterson, bad delivery, 4 runs. Border pulls well. That's the shot that Border plays so well to the fast bowlers. And he beats Curtly Ambrose, and that's 4. Pulls that, that's a good shot. Brings up to 150 with another 4. Border taking the attack to Patrick Patterson.
This thing's starting to look quite comfortable for Damien Martin and Alan Border.
You said they are. The youngsters sitting down on the dog track, watching the day's play. They've got the day off from school and have been told, if you behave yourself, concentrate on the cricket, well, we may do it again sometime. And they certainly are doing that. That's a good shot. Very, very good shot from Border. That one over-pitched on the leg stump, whipped away through the mid-wicket area there down to the boundary for 4. Oh, that's well played. Lovely cover drive that was. Fieldsman there just got a finger on it, so it won't go for 4. Damien Martin really stretching out and hitting through the line beautifully.
Couple there to Border. That too brought up the 50 partnership.
So just 1 ball to go now, and this will be the tea break. The clock on the board has just registered 2:40, and that's the partnership.
Alan Border called, well, actually would have tossed the coin, so Richie Richardson called incorrectly, and that's what's happened so far today. Mark Taylor is out for 7.
That is what has happened so far. 180 for Australia from 60 overs in 4 hours. They've been scoring 50 runs per 100 balls, which is a phenomenal rate. And West Indies have bowled 90 balls per hour. And here's Greg Chappell.
Thank you, Richie. That's out. He's caught it slip. That's a wide ball. Curtly Ambrose has done the job for his captain. Brian Lara has taken the catch. And Damien Martin will be very disappointed with that shot.
Yes, that's not a very good shot at all. That ball was well wide of the off stump. Look at that. Got to stretch at that one to even get close to it. Eventually hitting it straight to Brian Lara. He won't be impressed with that. Australia now 5 for 180.
He'll be keen to try and turn things around here today. It's important for his team that he does. Five for 189 as Curtly Ambrose continues. In the commentary position we have David Gower and Ian Chappell.
Thanks, Gregory. Nice shot from Alan Border, placing it past the short cover, and the Gabba crowd really enjoying that shot. Oh, that's well bowled. Not sure whether it got an edge or whether it just turned. Excellent delivery. To finish up as 4, so there was just enough of an edge to get it past the keeper, but not carry to the first slip fielder.
Well, an interesting development for Hooper then, if there's enough turn there to beat the bat. It looks like he's actually beaten the bat completely, and Border stranded down the pitch.
Patrick Patterson, who's bowling at the moment, has struggled. A couple of short spells. That's the reason why he struggled. This brings up Alan Border's 50. That cover drive, just the line and length from Patrick Patterson has been quite a bit astray.
Good knock, good courageous, well, I suppose cliche time, you could call it captain's knock. But it's been a very good innings from Alan Border. Started nervously, then picked up, and he's now made 52 from 115 balls. Good stuff.
And Border has made the most of some pretty ordinary bowling today from Patrick Patterson. Rather unorthodox with the advent of Carl Hooper going around the wicket. Greg Matthews has decided that as the angle is into leg stump, it should be hit towards the leg side. There's the 50. During the 50-run partnership, Greg Matthews has managed to bring up his highest score against the West Indies. Previous to this match, it was 16. He's now on 18. Shouldn't have to run for that one.
There's a good shot.
One just a little too straight, and will this be close? And there's a big appeal there. He's given him out, run out. What a tragedy that is. He doesn't think he's out. Well, Border dived there. He's got dirt all over the front of his clothing, and he thought he was home. I must say my first reaction was that he was home. It was whipped around the corner. Now let's see if we can pick up whether Border got here or not. The ball goes into the gloves of the keeper, and it breaks the stumps right there, and Border is just out of his ground. What a good decision that was by umpire Terry Prue. Fantastic decision. I hope all of you have been watching this telecast in the West Indies and New Zealand and enjoyed the day's play. So that's the end of the day's proceedings. 6 down for 259 Australia. They won the toss and decided to bat first. And the top scorer there, Alan Border, tragically run out. Hooper, the fieldsman, there for 73. That's the 10th time in his career that he's been run out.